Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about one of the most electrifying moves the game of basketball has ever seen. The crossover. Perfecting the crossover can transform an offensive player into a nearly unstoppable force on the court. This move, when executed correctly, can leave defenders stumbling, embarrassed, creating open shots, and lead to highlight reel plays. Sports Center type stuff. Let's delve into why the crossover is so effective, the mechanics behind it, and how some of the greatest players have mastered this move. To understand the crossover, it's essential to grasp the logistics that make it work. The effectiveness of a crossover hinges on a few key elements. Number 1, a low center of gravity is crucial. A player must get low and maintain a low center of gravity throughout the move. This stance allows for quick lateral movement and the ability to change direction quickly and swiftly. Number 2, ball control and positioning. The ball needs to be kept wide while the players get low to the ground. This positioning helps in generating maximum explosion and the speed when shifting back to the preferred direction to finish off the crossover. And speaking of speed, that leads me to number 3, which is explosion and speed. The explosion is the heart of a great crossover. It's the burst of speed that occurs when the player changes back to the direction that is preferred to finish off the move. Without this explosion, a crossover is merely a dribble move with little to no impact. Let's break down the progression of a crossover. A decent crossover. At this level, the move can catch a defender off guard that may not be an elite defender or may be a liability on the defensive end, but doesn't consistently create significant separation that's preferred and that an elite player can do. Once that decent crossover elevates to a good crossover, it helps the player create even more space and can lead to open shots or driving lanes. And once that good crossover is mastered and becomes a great one, at that point, think of players like Allen Iverson, Steve Francis, Kyrie Irving. These players use their crossover to not only create space, but to demoralize their offenders and dictate the flow of the game and show defenses that they're merely unguardable. Highlighting some of the masters of the crossover can provide valuable insights. AI, the answer, Allen Iverson, for example, used his low stance and low center of gravity, footwork, quick speed, and incredible explosion to leave defenders in his wake. Watching his highlights, you'll see how his crossover allowed him to navigate through defenses effortlessly. Baron Davis and Steve Francis also exemplified this move with their powerful and quick crossovers. Their ability to change speeds and explode out of the crossover made them formidable and merely unguardable offensive threats, as mentioned with some of these other players previously. In my video on the anatomy of explosion in basketball, I delve deeper into how crucial this element is for a player's game. Explosion can turn a mediocre crossover into a game-changing move. It's what separates a simple change of direction from a move that can open up the entire court. The killer crossover isn't just about getting past your defender. It's a versatile tool that can help open up jump shots by creating space. Players can pull up off the dribble going left or right for jumpers, if they have a mid-range game, that is. It can open drives to the basket. The crossover can lead to clear driving lanes for layups and dunks, especially if the player has a jump shot and has already been making the defense pay throughout the game from threes and mid-range. It's what separates a simple change of direction from a move that can open up the entire court. It helps set up spin moves and hesitations, secondary and tertiary, moves, and so on and so forth if a player has that game. Players can use the crossover to initiate spin moves or hesitation dribbles, keeping defender off balance all game and guessing without any idea of what they're about to do. So in conclusion, the crossover is more than just a flashy move, fundamental part of an offensive player's toolkit that, when perfected, can become one of the most dangerous weapons on the court. By focusing on maintaining a low center of gravity, keeping a tight core to ensure that explosion is maxed out, ensuring proper ball control, and maximizing speed and change of direction, players can elevate their crossover from good to great. Learning from the masters like Iverson, Steve Franchise, and Baron Davis can provide invaluable lessons in executing this move extremely effectively. For a more in-depth analysis, I encourage you to go watch my video on the anatomy of explosion in basketball, where I break down the critical components of this essential skill. Thank you, and may your crossovers always leave defenders in the dust. Once again, this is Nicky P signing off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Eat, sleep, breathe, hoops.